Kiwi Yarns with Brodie Kane.
Kia ora te whānau and welcome to Kiwi Yarns. Now today's guest is an actor with a familiar face both at home here in Aotearoa and overseas. From our beloved Shorty Street to NCIS Hawaii, Alex Tarrant has been landing some epic roles whilst being able to honour and celebrate where he comes from too. The mahi and story behind getting to where he is today is inspiring too. Alex Tarrant, welcome to Kiwi Yarns.
Oh, thank you.
Now I always start with a genuine how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I watched your podcast before and I've seen people kind of, yeah. I was wondering how I would never get this question when it came up, and I am genuinely, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I think the days they go up and down like roller coasters, but for me, for the most part, I enjoy the ride.
Do you know, I also think that it's completely okay. One of the reasons I do ask it is because it's such a throwaway question at times, and often people feel like they have to throw away the answer as well. And I've been trying to really lean into not being that way, So I think that it is important. And I also think it's important to not have to pretend that you're like, oh, I'm fabulous.
Yeah, I am, I grew up a chronic people pleaser, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think I have a conscious mind frame of trying to make sure that I answer that as honestly as I can whenever I'm asked that.
Yeah. Now, you're back in Aotearoa. How often do you get to come home these days? Is it not enough, or, just sort of fleeting visits, or how often do you get to spend back home?
Not a whole lot. Not as much as I would like, my parents are getting older, and I mean, for the most part, I feel like they would rather me kind of go and pursue and keep doing what I'm doing. But I know that the times are kind of running short on my parents, and so I would love to be back more than I am, but I'd probably say about a month out of the year.
Yeah. And you live in Hawaii, which is a beautiful place. I've only been there on holiday. I mean, everyone has an idea of a place when they holiday there, but what's it like to live there?
What's it like to live there? Is it bad to say that it's phenomenal?
No.
Yeah. I honestly, I love my life over there. I think the only thing that I can kind of compare it to is, there's a bit of context over here. Before I started, before my career kind of took off, Auckland kind of reminds me of hustle, and I'm trying to make ends meet and trying to prove value. When I go to Hawaii, we went over with I guess the value already set. I went over for a job, and it seems as if we've found ways to be able to create a community around us and be able to give back to a place that's given so much to us, and just feel very, very grateful to be there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you, this is probably such a cliche question, but have you taken up surfing, or you get into the water sports?
Yeah. I mean, so I grew up in Raglan.
Well, then, that's a surfing mecca.
Well, it's the first question I get asked is if I surf, and I didn't grow up surfing. In Raglan. I do have a memory of myself getting I was on a board, and I was just out at sea watching my dad get smaller and smaller and smaller, and so after that moment, I kind of didn't want to touch a board until I booked the role of NCIS Hawaii, and the character was supposed to be a pro surfer. And so had to get in the water and see if I can pick up where I left off in Raglan.
Yeah, pull a few shuckers.
Learn the shaka. Yeah. It's a very different meaning over here. Very different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Would you need to tell me so that I don't cause a diplomatic incident?
Oh, I mean, look, I don't know if I should be getting too much into it, but this is a very different meaning back in Hawaii.
Oh.
This is like peace,
Yes.
love, aloha.
Yeah.
Over here, it's gang culture.
Oh, okay. No, sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you see where I'm going with that?
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yes, no, I'm with you now.
yeah.
So you've got to be careful when
Oh,
you
gotta be
shaka
careful.
where and when you're
Yeah.
shakering in New Zealand.
So if you look at a whole lot of my Hawaii photos, I've got the shaka. But over here, it's just the thumbs up. That's all.
Oh,
This pinky goes in.
yes. That's I feel really blonde about that, but
No,
you're
you're
absolutely bang
okay.
on.
You're
But just
alright.
be mindful of where you're shakering is all we
Yeah.
say there. Yeah. Oh, be a real mindful shucker.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you're here this particular time to launch and celebrate the film Sgt Haane, which tells the story of the Lieutenant Sergeant Haane Manahi, DCM, Te Arawa Ngāti Ruakawa, who had extraordinary courage during a 1943 World War II battle at Takruna, Tunisia. And this is a film that tells a largely untold story. For you, you're the lead role in this movie, honouring the 28th Māori Battalion hero. What did playing this role mean to you? Because this is a big deal.
Yeah, I remember last year having the chance to be able to kind of jump into this world. What a phenomenal man. And once it's done, I move on from things relatively quickly. And so it's so interesting to come back, and I got to watch the film last Wednesday or Thursday. And I quickly remember that it is quite easy to see that it's the biggest honour of my career so far.
And when you got the role, was there seeing the role that you have had to play?
Yeah.
Was there really? I guess I'm actually curious about two kind of ways of preparing for a role like that, emotionally and physically. Can you sort of give us a bit of an idea of how you do that for playing such a big and important role in a film that really does bring to light some really important part of our history here in Aotearoa?
So, it's a really hard one for me to answer. I'll try and be as succinct as I can. I know that, I guess the way to put it is, someone asked me, like, how do I become the character, or how did I become this person? And the honest truth is that the moment I even attempt to do that is probably the moment I fail. Because how does one step into the shoes of a man that, one has lived a completely different life, and two, achieve something that's it's a different realm of the human capability and human psyche.
Yeah.
Something that I haven't experienced before. And so instead of seeing it as the opportunity, the job of stepping into someone's shoes that are so big, I think I just tried my best to lend as much of my spirit to this project as I could. And I didn't know where that was going. But.
No, and also, by the way, you don't have to be succinct. It's a podcast you can take all day. You can take all day with your answers.
That's so nice to know.
That's the joy of it. And I think you have talked recently about this in roles that you've had recently as well, like Noah in DMV. And I would very much, I hope it's okay to assume this, where in this stage of your life you are able to honour your culture and where you come from. So how, in a way that is through your craft, is that a really special feeling?
Most definitely. Yeah. I'm still learning who I am inside my culture. So to do projects like DMV and like Sgt Haane, it's funny, one's a comedy and then one's like a drama documentary, but for me they're not too far away from each other, in the sense that I get to discover who I am as a Māori Pacific Island human being. So each character, I get the opportunity to learn more about myself and more about the world around me and more about my culture.
And what are some of the things for you that you have learnt about yourself?
That it is okay to not know. I think that's the more I do this and the more I portray what it is to be Māori on screen, the more I become okay with not knowing who I am and how I fit inside the culture itself. Yeah.
Is it if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, please.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34.
Yeah.
So, and you're enjoying your 30s, like, because I feel like I'm about to depart the 30s.
Yeah.
39, turning 40 in July.
Yes.
I felt that the 30s were a hugely, really important piece of self-discovery. I feel like 20s, you sort of like learning all sorts of things, probably listen too much to what other people think and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How are you finding that your 30s are a decade of that for you?
Yeah, yes and no. I'm getting more and more comfortable with marching to the beat of my own drum. And inside this kind of industry that I find myself in, it's very important to figure out how I differentiate from other people who have the same pursuit. And the more I figure out about that, the more I realize that my authenticity is essentially the key to unlocking my own success in whatever form, shape or form that kind of turns out to be. For me, I really enjoy learning how to be more myself, especially and I think that probably started in my early 20s. Yeah.
Do you find, I'm intrigued then as well by figuring out who you are and learning and discovering things about yourself. Does that happen with the work that you do as well? Like, because I find that interesting, because then you go and do other roles, but is there sort of like a bit of a full circle where each time you take on a role you learn a little bit about yourself? Oh,
there's so many things. When I was watching the film back, part of me was like, I wish I knew what I knew now. I think, well, most definitely I learn as I go. And that's one of my favorite things about being an actor is, so this is a little bit of a segue off, right?
I'm in.
I like acting, but I love character analysis more than anything. I think deep down my wish was to be some form of psychology, like a psychologist. I love figuring out what makes us who we are and how our choices shape us, and why we choose to do what we do. And I think it's got a lot to do with the way that I grew up and the things that I encountered as a young person. And, you know, for a lot of people who know me back when, you know, back in the days, I was far from who I am now. So I could imagine that a lot of people who grew up with me would probably see this and, yeah, and kind of, I would actually be interested to see how people, how the years have changed perception of who I am.
Do you want to? Can we go
Let's
into
go down.
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that people that you grew up with? What sort of age are we talking here? Are you talking when you're a kid, a teenager?
Okay, so I will go into I'll lay it out for you, okay?
Lay it out. We're here. We're all here. Well, I say we're all here. You and I are in
Yes.
here, but our beautiful listeners are here. Our
Yeah.
beautiful viewers are here as well.
Yeah, thank you. I've never said this, and sometimes, you know, there's a whole lot of shame around this, but I think it's important for me to say I grew up a compulsive liar, and so, ooh,
No,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I grew up a compulsive liar, and I had to figure out for myself why I created the world around me the way that it was. And essentially, I got so good at it that I built this massive tower, a castle of lies that eventually the foundations all crumbled, and I was found out for my lies. And I essentially felt like I had to kind of start all over again. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, was there a moment that is there periods in time where you realise this?
Yes.
Or, you know, like, and are there steps in terms of, okay, that's what I'm doing, but I can't stop it?
No, not necessarily that. I think it had to do with, so I grew up in Raglan, right? Raglan's a really interesting place because you can have a whole bunch of people from different socioeconomical backgrounds, and they all look the same as me, and they all talk the same as me. But we moved to a different place, and we moved to Morrinsville. I was wondering whether or not to say, but
Hey,
yeah.
Morrinsville,
Yeah.
got the cows on the corners of the street. Yep.
Got the cows on the corner of the street, and I quickly found out that I was not the same as a lot of people. And being a new kid, I was trying to figure out how to relate to people. And I remember the first lie in Raglan, in Morrinsville that I told. I remember my first lie that I told. Well, it wasn't really a lie. Should I start with that?
I'm here. I'm leaning for yes.
Okay.
Tell me your first lie.
So this is the first time that I was aware that I was lying.
Yep.
I was in Raglan. I would have been around about 5 years old, and I was walking home from school, and I look across the road and I see what I thought was my cousin. And I wave out to my cousin and I'm yelling at her and I'm saying, hi. And she doesn't look. I come to find out that it's not her. And so I pretended that I was waving to someone behind her, but there was no one beside her or behind her. And so that was the moment where I was like, oh, obviously that wouldn't work. So my mind was trying to start figuring out like, so how could I have convinced her that I was waving to someone behind her? And as a youngin', that's kind of how my mind started kind of firing around this idea of how to convince people something is not what it seems.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Morrinsville, and I start realizing that I'm very different from a lot of the other kids, but I'm also the same as a lot of other kids. But at the time, I was only concentrated on what was different. And I could see that a lot of kids had nice shoes and nice shirts, and I started, my very first lie was I said that I had four PlayStations, at home. And these kids were like, whoa, can I come play? And I was like, see, the thing is, how it works is my parents don't like blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so I'm going in here because now I'm starting to remember my lies as a kid.
Right.
And I can tell you two that are almost similar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I can remember my first lie. My first lie, I'm pretty sure I was about 5.
Yeah.
My mum was a swim coach at Dalton Swim School in Christchurch, and I used to have to go there quite often after school when she was looking at, after school while she was coaching all the kids swimming. And I stole 2 $5 notes from Don Dalton's office, and I put them. Look at your face. Look at your face. Yeah, I know. So and I put the 2 $5 notes up my sleeve, and obviously, thief, completely forgot about it. And later that day, like Don must have said to Mum, has anyone seen my $10? Oh, no. Later that day, I must have completely forgot about it. Went to the toilet, fell out my sleeve, and then they obviously floated in the toilet, and then Mum saw them floating in the toilet and was like, did you take those? Yeah. So I got in deep trouble for that, grounded, as a 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the second one that you've reminded me of is when I was about 12. I used to live in a place. Now I've hijacked your interview.
No, please. I'm here for it. Please.
So so I was about 12, and there was a bunch of kids that were like 13 that were staying at the campground at Waikuku Beach. So they were at high school, right? I wasn't yet. I was like the last year before high school, and we met these hot guys, and we were hanging out all through the campground with the hot guys.
Cool, yeah.
But I lived there, and I lived at Waikuku Beach. So everyone came to my house at one point, and then someone was going through my wardrobe and was like, where's your school uniform? Because I'd lied about my age, you see.
Okay.
And then on the spot, I was like, it's at the dry cleaners. Now, so look, so where I'm going with that is I think we've all lied, but I'm curious to know now.
Yes.
That's a really long way of getting to that point. I'm curious to know though, so this developed and carried on for how long?
Up until, I'm making a career of it now, which is kind of, it's so within saying all of this, it's sometimes uncomfortable for me to, it's a weird relationship.
Yeah.
Knowing why I can do what I can do. Does it make sense?
No, it does.
Yeah.
So it gave you the tools to be a good actor.
Well, to be proficient in enough to have a career. Yeah. I
mean, that's quite a good way to look at it.
Well, now that I see it, there's so much like shame built around it because there was a moment where it starts with survival, trying to convince people that I'm the same, that we're similar, and then after a while, I started really enjoying the idea of people kind of looking at me with googly eyes, especially when I was younger, and there's reasons for that, At school, people would look at me like a Greek god. At home, I would just be, I might as well be a towel in the corner of the room. So it's an interesting kind of dynamic that I found myself in.
Would you say as well with so growing up in Raglan and not having a lot of money, material wealth, really hardworking family, and there being challenges that you have talked about before, and so moving, and then as you say, moving to Morrinsville, feeling different. Was there a time where you finally felt like you had a sense of belonging, and was that to do with acting, and your first experience of feeling like you were part of something?
So there's essentially two answers to that. Yes, I had a sense of belonging, and I found a sense of belonging, but it was fake. And I created a community around me in my first high school that was built on really like a terrible foundation of lies. And then when that all crumbled, it was to the point where people were, you know, like I don't know how far I should go into this, but
No, you can. Let's go.
yeah. It was to the point where, you know, people were kind of like spitting on me on the side of the road, and like I started not feeling safe. And a lot of my friends that I grew up with, they were all, you know, they were all affected by it as well. And for that, I feel really terrible, because I made some amazing friends, but I couldn't keep them for long because what I was saying was eventually going to come out into the light, you know. So I end up leaving the school, and I go to a new school where I feel like, one, I can kind of, it's a clean slate. I can be whoever I want to be from now on, and I'm going to choose to try my best to figure out how to be as honest as I can. And I end up meeting this amazing English teacher. I had a bunch of amazing teachers. I went to Hamilton Fraser High School, and one of the teachers asked me and convinced me to audition for High School Musical. You remember High School Musical?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my first show that I ever done.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I found a community of really different, awkward, strange, goofy people who were okay with being themselves, and I learned a lot from the people around me to figure out how to be myself.
I'm trying to take it all in, and also try not to sound like I'm a therapist, because I'm certainly not qualified in that respect. But
Yeah.
what I'm quite fascinated by. Do you think, if you're looking back at that period of time of the lies,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at this next part of your life and finding these people, do you look at it now and go, yes, okay, I mean, well, actually, that's a side question to that, whether there's regrets or not, or do you look at it though and understand why that part happened?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's why my passion is psychology, and acting. I could do. I don't want to say this so like, what's the word? Frivolously.
Yes.
But I could do with or without it. It's from me having an understanding of my own makeup, and then being able to see myself reflected in other people. That's why I love. And the more well-rounded I am as a person, the more that I'm able to see reflections of similarity and connections with other people. That's what I love.
Yeah. I did put a question in there before that I will come back to.
Mm-hmm.
Then are you as someone that has regrets, or can you look at that and go, that's a stage of my life. I understand that it wasn't ideal, but I don't regret it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Where you sit with that.
Yeah. I would not be where I am now if it wasn't for that sequence of events. And I am very, very blessed and happy to be where I am now. And I am so lucky to be able to take a lot of the pain and the trauma and the hard times, and be able to turn it into something that has allowed me to live a beautiful life and have a beautiful career, and to be able to share what I know through characters like Sgt Haane.
Just want to geek out a little bit over NCIS Hawaii.
Okay. Yeah.
What was it like working on that show? I mean, that's such a general question, but like going over a big, a huge brand.
Yeah.
I am, high scale, big budget.
In terms of television, it was one of the greatest experiences I had gone through, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. Haane is that's on a different scale, but for me, my dream was always to go to America, and it was always to break into the American industry. On top of that, my dream has always been to be able to use my own accent inside an American television show. But let's go back to NCIS Hawaii. The cast, we just clicked day one, like that. I think that's so rare. And no disrespect to the other shows that I've done before, but that to me was very, very special. There's this saying, an amazing teacher from New Zealand, Miranda Harcourt. She has almost like a picture, a scale. Anyway, if two people can get along, then the characters will mesh very, very well. But sometimes what happens is, as people, we can be very different, and sometimes that affects how the characters relate to each other inside shows. With NCIS, we were all just close, thick as thieves, so they say. Yeah.
And so, and then you said as well, you have had a role where you have been able to use your own accent as Noah in DMV.
Yeah.
And so that is fantastic in itself, isn't it? To be able to sort of be like, this is me. This is where I come from.
Yeah. I think that's always been the dream. And I don't know about you, but have you ever gone like, when I hear like New Zealand being mentioned in a movie, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So for me to be able to help create that moment of, there we are.
Yeah.
Inside the what's it called? the world that is the USA.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to see ourselves.
And I think we have so many wonderful, talented actors and actresses that are all making a real solid mark over there. Because it's like, it's a hard graft, right? It's like we're a small country. There is some, we do produce some wonderful television and films, but we're small, so the options are limited, and then to go and cut your teeth over in a ginormous place is tough, but we do it. I think someone explained it to me. If diamonds are super rare and you can only find New Zealanders in a very specific place in the world, doesn't that make us as rare as a diamond? And I remember holding on to that piece of information and realizing that, we're pretty special inside this world. Did you have people that you looked up to when you were growing up in the acting space, or was that sort of later in life, or?
Maybe a little bit later on in life, but
not in Morrinsville. Too busy.
I mean,
too busy in Morrinsville.
Yeah, exactly. No, spot on.
Yeah.
I think I definitely had an appreciation for Cliff Curtis, Timaweta Morrison. Those two were, they were really the first to do it, in my scope of vision anyway. And so to be able to, I guess, follow in their footsteps is a great honour.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, we look at Hollywood and bright lights and
Yeah.
glitz and glamour. Give people an idea of what percentage of the job is glitz and glamour if we were on a scale. Bugger all.
It's probably 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
It's probably 10%. And what we get to see on the screen is definitely the polished version of what we go through. Sometimes it's very, very cold, early mornings, and sometimes it's late nights. And yeah, it's just part of the job.
Do you enjoy the glitz and glamour type scenarios? Could you take or leave it? It's part of the job.
From what you have met from me so far, what would you say?
I would say that you would possibly not. That wouldn't be your favourite part of the job.
Yeah. I think you would be spot on. Yeah.
You'd be like, no, I just wouldn't mind cruising around into the back door for the film.
Yep, for sure. But I know that there's I'm starting to become more and more aware that my face has a certain amount of value, that, and if I can help raise the bar of what it is to create anywhere, then I'll happily not go through the back door.
It's quite amazing though when I meet someone that is in a job like yours, or in a space that's it's the arts, and I would say that more often than not people probably assume, and we know, and excuse my French, assumption is the mother of all fuck ups, but that people that are actors are, look at me, pick me, because of a particular type of job that you do. But more often than not, in terms of people that I've met over the years or interviewed, are shy and or introverted and or, those are two things off the top of my head immediately. And I think that it's really nice to remind people that it's not people that are just look at me, pick me, that it actually there's a method and there's a respect and care needed for people like yourself that aren't that way.
That's really, really good observation.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate that. And I think it's I've come across people who are like, look at me, and the difference for me between someone who I'm like, yeah, you do you, and is are they genuine about what they want? Some people are look at me masquerading as no, and it's, from me, I can have an appreciation for someone who's honest about what they want and who they are. I'll always respect that.
Yeah. And I mean, because it's a fascinating, there's so many, there's a space for everyone too, in terms of levels of, we probably wouldn't want, I mean, we wouldn't want a whole world full of me's, because that would be a lot. Balance it out with half me's and half you's, and it'd be much calmer.
Oh,
space.
So you're on the opposite spectrum.
Well, so I'm bull in a china, like I'm out the gate.
Yeah.
I am loud. Sometimes some of my friends call me a hurricane. You know, and my surname's Kane, so you can change the spelling of that. So I'm balls to the wall.
Yeah.
That kind of scenario.
Good on you.
So I always find it really fascinating when I meet people that aren't, because I go, wow, I could never, I'm not that.
Yeah.
But it's and you've got to take a bit more care. Just,
interesting.
it is really.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah. How did you get that way? Have you always had it?
Let me think. Well, I think I was always a little like if I'm going right back.
Yeah.
I think I was quite a little character of a little girl, quite funny, little mate. And then yes, I do think I think it was I have a massive influence of my mum, and she is a very strong woman and very. You'll never die wondering what she thinks. You know, you'll always get it. My dad is a very. No, so he would be. I wouldn't say he's the opposite. Loves to connect with people. Loves to engage. Great storyteller. Fantastic man. You know, but I would say of the two, he'd happily cruise down the back door to see the movie, and Mum and I would cartwheel through the front door. You know what I mean?
Epic.
So I think there's a strong influence of that there, and just this but also this is a therapy session now for both of us, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah.
But
I like it.
I feel like I just have this kind of possibly like quite an uncontrolled. No, not uncontrolled. That's not fair. Just a real massive energy.
Is it to say that you were born that way?
Yeah, I reckon probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect that. And
Yeah.
so this is an interesting thing for me, observing and going, yeah, you are who you are. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the energy just keeps going too. It just compounds as I get older, which is, I think people, I think I'm getting more
I wish I had even just an ounce of that, you know?
Yeah. Gosh, we have gone everywhere. Now, do you, living in, I mean, you have to move around a lot for your roles, but at the moment, do you feel sort of that you're at home in Hawaii? Is that sort of a foreseeable, or is it you have this mahi whereby you might be there for a certain amount of time, and then if I need to move, I'll go.
It would be an honor for me to be able to call Hawaii home, but you know, I'm very sensitive to the situation over there. I had a bit of ignorance going over there originally, so I think this is a really interesting thing to be able to bring up. So I went over to Hawaii to play a local Hawaiian character. And I remember that not going down very well with a lot of the Hawaiian community. And I quickly understood the reasons why, is that there's a bunch of talent there. There's just not a whole lot of places to be able to train and hone those talents and those skills. Over here, we have a whole bunch of drama schools that we could choose from. I went to Toi Whakaari. So I learned so much about myself during that time. For Hawaiian talent, there's not a whole bunch of opportunities to be able to learn about yourself and how you work and what makes you tick and what makes you you. So the talent's unrefined for me to be able to go over and play a Hawaiian character was one of the greatest honors, and to be able to help them to show the world who they are as best as you can inside a procedural television show. That was a great honor for me, but I know that as much as I feel it is home, I won't call it home, because it's their home. And I'm just lucky to be on the aina. Yeah,
beautiful. Now I'm gonna give you your Kiwi Yarns quick fire questions.
Okay, yeah, please do.
Now, what kai is on the menu for your final feed? So we're sort of talking. Look, that you've been given the heads up that it's your last day.
Like I'm in prison?
Well, your death row meal, or like, hey, today's our last day on Earth. Let's go. What are we having?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's probably just I'm so sorry. It's kind of tough for me to say, but probably just some white bread with butter and a cup of tea. Yeah.
Hey.
Back to the roots.
It's your choice.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the butter slightly melted, or what
Nah,
softness is the butter at?
It's like the perfect for me is just being able to scoop it just off the top of the cube.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. We've never had that answer before, so thank you. Cup of tea and some white bread with butter. I love it. If I gave you a wand to change one thing, a magic wand actually, to change one thing in Aotearoa, what would it be?
Oh. These are so hard to
I know.
answer.
I mean, you can, you can go deep, you can go light. 'Cause
Have you answered these?
sometimes. And my answers change, you know?
Okay.
Like this week, I'm like free public transport for everyone.
Oh, I
You know
love
what I mean?
that. Okay, so we can keep it simple.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to save the
No,
world.
yeah.
It would be free food. Yeah.
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 100%. Free public transport from me, free food from you.
Cheaper food.
Let's lift
Gas. There we go.
Yeah.
Cheaper gas.
Now, question number 3 is favourite Kiwi artist or song?
Oh, favourite Kiwi artist. The first person that comes to mind is Scribe. Dreamin'. That's always been one of my favourite go-to songs.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Where would you love to go in Aotearoa that you haven't been?
Oh, do you know that guy Jay Mango?
No, I don't.
Jay Mango, he's a TikTok influencer
Yes.
from America who's going all around Aotearoa.
Oh,
And he's in the South Island. I'm pretty sure he's in the South Island at the moment. And he went to a place called Pegasus.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, carry on your story and then I'll...
I'd be interested to follow in his tracks and see, where he's gone. But he's, Pegasus.
No, serious?
Yeah.
What was he doing in Pegasus?
He's just kind of like going around meeting the people and seeing what life is like for these people.
Okay, so is it like... Because I'm pretty sure if it's Pegasus, it's 3 Ks from where I grew up.
Christchurch, it's around Christchurch.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's so random.
Yeah.
That's such a random place for him to have gone
fascinating.
gone to.
Yeah.
So Pegasus is 3 kilometres south from Waikuku Beach,
Okay.
which is where I grew up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you're going to Pegasus, you have Waikuku Beach is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that Pegasus was a cool name, and he was like, "That's a cool name."
Yeah,
So
it is
I
a
was
cool
like,
name. But
yeah.
you just go up the road a little bit, and that's my beach.
All right.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, then. Waikuku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that though. Okay, so question number 5 though, you're stranded on the Auckland Islands.
Yeah.
In particular, Disappointment Island. Now this is people go very deep or once surface level.
Okay.
5 things that you'd take to avoid being disappointed while you're stranded.
Wow, Disappointment Island.
Yeah, down on the way to Antarctica.
Never heard of that place
Yeah.
before. It's an actual island.
It's an actual island.
Okay. To avoid being disappointed?
Yeah, so you're stranded. We don't know for how long, but
Okay.
you're just taking some things that are going to, sort of keep bring you joy.
Okay. I enjoy the idea of like going out into the forest anyway, so I would say a flint. Excuse me. A flint. Machete. And I could just go a bunch of food.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say chickens. I'd take
You take some chickens. Yeah.
A tiny home
Yeah.
and solar power.
That's great.
Yeah.
There's some smart answers there.
And I'd probably just stay there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, be nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Before I let you go,
Yeah.
is there so with your acting and this real interest in psychology,
Yeah.
do you think, like, are you going to act forever, or is that an answer that you don't think you have to answer, like how long's a piece of string type scenario? Do you think you might move further into psychology, or are there still some roles that you've got your sights set on?
Yeah, there's still some roles I got my sights set on, for sure. I don't know if I'll be doing this for forever, But for as long as I can stay useful in the storytelling for other people, I think that's how long that I'll stay. I do feel like I have a gift, if I'm being completely honest, and I don't mean it to toot my own horn, but I would love to be able to make the most of what I have been given, or yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've learnt a lot. And I wish you all the best. All the best with the rollout of Sgt Haane as well. I know
Thank
that
you.
there's some really special commemorative screenings and that around Anzac Day and whatnot as well. So I have no doubt that is going to go so well. So important for us here in Aotearoa to honour our history and our past. And you have done such a beautiful job to do that. So thank you for coming in, and thank you for coming on Kiwi Yarns.
Thank you for having me.
That was Kiwi Yarns. We'll see you next week.